Hi, I'm Roy Allison with VBA Benefits, and I want to welcome you to our YouTube production of Plan Changes for 2012. The VBA Benefits Corporation is proud to sponsor benefit programs, and your bank participates in those programs. We're going to give you a brief review of the changes that are taking place for the new plan year, effective January 1. Most of those changes are in the medical plan, and it's always good when fewer changes can occur in other plans. I will do a little recap of that in a few minutes, but the big changes are in the medical plan. And the big changes are simply these. We have two new plans this year. The Key Care 25/50/500, kind of a mouthful, a long name, is our new plan. That replaces the Blue Care, the Key Care 30. And as you can see, we see that plan as something of a hybrid between the Blue Care 600 and the Key Care 30. It's got some of the best features of both. It has co-pays, like you're familiar with, a $25 copay for primary care physicians and a $50 copay for specialists. But it also has a deductible. The deductible comes in after the copays, if you will. It's $500 for an individual or $1,000 for a family. And that deductible applies to those expenses which occur other than the office visit itself. Such things as lab, x-rays, allergy shots, injections, tests, and of course hospitalization, whether that be the use of the hospital as an inpatient or an outpatient. That comes after the deductible. Like a lot of our plans, like all of our plans now, preventive services are at 100%. So you don't even have to worry about the deductible for the recognized preventive services, such things as mammography and Pap test, PSA test, colorectal screenings. All of those are 100%. No copay, no cost sharing whatsoever. The out-of-pocket limit in this plan is a little different because of the fact that we do have that deductible. As you probably remember, most of our plans have a $3,000 out-of-pocket. In this plan, it's $3,500 or $7,000 per family. But it's a great plan. Like I say, it fits sort of in between the Key Care 25 and the Key Care 20 and Key Care 30, a lower cost than the Key Care 20. We're very excited about our new plan this year, the HRA 1500. HRA stands for Health Reimbursement Account, and I'll talk a little bit about how that works. But this is a consumer plan, a consumerism plan. It has a high deductible, $1,500, but before that frightens you, consider that the first $500 is paid from the account. That's where it gets its name, the Health Reimbursement Account. It's all built into the plan. There's nothing for you to do, no additional account to set up. The $500 allowance is there. $500 for an individual, $1,000 for a family, and the first $500 paid toward that deductible come from that account. Anything you don't use, anything you don't spend from that deductible, can roll over to next year, and that's one of the incentives of the plan, to help you become better consumers, more careful consumers of medical care. One of the problems we have in this country right now is overutilization. It's great to have a copay of $20 for an office visit. When you ask people, what does an office visit cost? And they say $20. That's not exactly right. It's more like $150. $20 is paid by you and the rest is paid by the plan. And to the extent that that makes it sometimes too easy to go to the doctor when we don't really need to, this gives us a chance to think about what we're doing. And that's, again, the consumer movement in healthcare. But again, the $500 is paid first. And that's actually built into the plan, handled by Anthem directly through their subsidiary Luminos, which you'll hear more about. One of the good things about this plan is that the flexible spending account, with which I'm sure you're all familiar, can still be used. So you may complement this plan with a flexible spending account, again, to pay those expenses once that $500 is deleted. This plan has a drug card, a little different than the one you've seen in other plans, 10-30-50 instead of 10-40-60, 10-30-50 plus 20%. And this plan is very heavy on wellness and preventive care. For example, there are a number of incentives there to encourage you to be, again, careful consumers of medical care and to go out of your way to find additional ways to add to that. For example, the My Health Assessment, that is an online tool that helps you get a better picture of your own health. It's highly confidential. Nobody knows about it but you, but it gives you an idea, a chance to score yourself on health-related issues. And by completing that assessment, you earn $50 towards your health reimbursement account. It's added to the $500 or whatever else is in the account. In the same way, a health coaching program, by enrolling in that program, there's a $100 allowance. By graduating from the program, which is a little more involved, of course, that's a $200 allowance. Tobacco-free program earns you a $50 credit. Healthy weight program earns you a $50 credit. So there's some positive incentives for you to improve your health and to increase your allowance in that account. But basically, this is traditional coverage. It's a high deductible plan with $1,500. Again, the first $500 is paid from the account, $3,000 per family. That is the way all non-preventive services are treated. Preventive services, and again, I said earlier, this plan is heavy on that. Those are essentially without deductible, without copay. The one set of deductibles satisfied is a PPO. These are the same network of doctors and hospitals that your Key Care plan does. It is a PPO, so it pays 80% after that. And again, the out-of-pocket maximum, like most of our plans, is $3,000. So think of it this way. If you have a $50,000 claim or a $500,000 claim, again, there's no upper limit on our claims. But if you have a claim of that magnitude, your exposure is essentially $3,000 per person per year. So from that perspective, what's the best plan? Well, it's the one with the lowest cost, and that's where this plan comes in. This plan is priced at 20% less than the Key Care 20. So as we'll see in a minute, this is a real positive incentive. I mentioned earlier, preventive care is a hallmark of this plan. 100% coverage for the recommended services, PSA, PAP, mammographies, such things as that, colorectal screenings, no out-of-pocket costs whatsoever as long as you're in the network. But a step further in this plan is the concept of preventive RX. You'll see in your open enrollment kit there is a whole information package. There are 2 pages of prescription drugs that are considered in the preventive category, which are paid by the drug card. That is the 10, 30, 50 drug card. If you have a non-preventive medication, let's say you have a cold or something and you go in and get some antibiotics, that is going to come under the deductible. But again, the first $500 is paid from the health reimbursement account. So the whole concept here is empowerment. This gives you the opportunity to take much more control of your health plan. Again, the annual allocation of $500 to meet that deductible. It can roll over as much as 3 times. The HRA itself, which gives you incentive for those healthy behaviors. And again, preventive care at 100%. There have been a few other changes in our medical plans, mostly in the prescription area. The prescriptions don't change in general. The high deductible plan, the $3,000 plan, if any of you are involved in that, and this new $1,500 plan have a slightly different drug card, again, that 10, 30, 50 versus the 10, 40, 60. But the big news in the case of the pharmacy area is Walgreens. We all know where the Walgreens store is. It's right across the street from the CVS, right next door to the Rite Aid. But for whatever reason, Walgreens has decided to enter into a bit of a negotiation, if you will, with Express Scripts. Express Scripts is the pharmacy benefit manager that Anthem uses. Most of the carriers do. It's the largest in the country. And for some reason, Walgreens sort of has some issues. And they've said they're going to pull out of the network as of the end of the year at 12/31. That may indeed happen, or it may not. I've seen plenty of these situations where at the last minute somebody blinks. So it's possible that that's going to change. But if it does not, very shortly, those of you who've been getting prescriptions from Walgreens will be getting information from Anthem about how you can have some alternatives. And as one of our folks noted, I'm sure the CVS stores already have those banners in the back, welcome Walgreens customers. I want to talk a little bit about banking on wellness. That is our wellness program that we've been promoting for a number of years. And it's more important than ever because, as you've noticed in your open enrollment material, we're better off than a lot of folks, but most plans are having increases in cost, and that's simply a matter of the world we live in. Medical costs are going up. Despite all of our best efforts to hold them down with HMOs, with consumer-driven plans, with healthcare reform, health costs are still going up. And, you know, it's hard to say whose fault that is. I mean, who do we blame for it? Insurance companies? Well, in our case, our rates are based on our claims, so we can't blame the insurance company. Doctors and hospitals, I don't think they're really all that evil. But, you know, the reality is we are an awful lot of what's to blame.